Hey, good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Appreciate you taking the time to join us here this evening. We're going to give a minute or so for everybody to get in here, but it is time for our top rope spoilers for NXT Takeover 30. I'm Steve, and my partner has just arrived.
Hi, I'm Kia.
And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is our official prediction show. We do it before each of our pay-per-views to give us an opportunity to be able to go over the pay-per-view cards as well as give our official predictions. So again, we appreciate everyone taking the time to drop in. So, for those of you who are still relatively new to it, you can kind of give an idea of how we do things.
Okay, so pretty much, as you can clearly see the board that was set up by the both of us.
We say clearly, we know it's off in the distance, sorry.
We like to actually take the time to actually go through each and every match individually and give our picks, which is our predictions, but we also give the explanation for why we picked those. So, going through and saying, we're picking for Keith Lee, getting no explanation, wouldn't really help. So, we give an explanation.
Exactly. But for those of you who have followed us from the beginning, first of all, welcome back. We appreciate you joining us for another edition here. So far, we've been making picks throughout the year, starting with WrestleMania that we had all the way back in April. And for the first time, I actually enter a pay-per-view with the lead. Kia actually led by a couple after Mania, and I've been trying to catch up along the way. But I just got past her with the last pay-per-view we did. I'm up by one right now, so can I keep the lead going with a double pay-per-view weekend coming up? I could move a little further ahead. Might also be way behind by the time we're done, so we'll see how things pan out.
Yeah, because we've got two pay-per-views this weekend, so you could
with payback following it, so
exactly. You could be way ahead or way behind, or the other way around.
But hopefully everyone's looking forward to this double pay-per-view weekend. We sure are. We've been putting out a ton of material. Crossed over 700 followers earlier this week, and got a little bit of a nice joy here. It was with a follower we picked up just a little while ago.
So we are very excited as husband and wife duo to actually have not only Naomi, who is following us, one of the biggest, oh my gosh, for Steve, but we now have Shotzi Blackheart. Thank you, Shotzi, for following us. That means so much.
We don't have the green hair or the helmet, but we promise we're in the midst of working on it. But thank you so much for taking the time to follow us. We have thoroughly enjoyed having you take the time to follow us. We very much appreciate it. It means a lot to us.
I've had green hair before, but
you have had green hair before. Any of your soccer players that might be joining in, you know Coach Kia. She's jumped in.
Yep.
But hey, that's enough talking for now. So let's get down to business. First of all, as we mentioned in our post earlier, we do have a contest coming up. So I wanted to present the rules of what that's about, as well as what we potentially are bringing to the table. For those of you who see all of our material, you've seen that we have official logos for our On the Ring apron, for Plate Exchange, and for Questions with the Queen. However, we are having just the toughest time trying to come up with a great idea for Top Rope spoilers. So we're actually going to reach out to you for some help. What we would like to see is there's anyone out there who has a little bit of, artistic ability as well as a little bit of ability to be able to put a logo together on a computer. We're reaching out to you to create a Top Rope Spoilers logo for our show. We're going to take the best ones that we get submitted to us. We're going to let you guys, in the end, ultimately have the final vote as to which one you feel is the best. But what we'd like to do is whoever we end up selecting as the winner of that, not only will your logo continue to forever forward be used as our Top Rope Spoilers logo, but you also are going to be given an opportunity in a future episode when your Top Rope Spoilers logo premieres to also be an official guest picker on our show.
I'm excited. As you know, I am very social. I love talking to people, so I cannot wait to see who comes up with the best logo. I already have something in my head of what I think it could be, but we want to see what y'all got.
But we wanted to present that out to you, so hey, if you've got a little bit of artistic design and a little bit of spare time, help us out a little bit, because we're very busy people, but at the same time, we want this to have a great look. No disrespect to Kia's writing, which is much more better than mine. I've got a doctor's handwriting. At the end, we both agree this isn't cutting it, and we're ready to get something official on the books. So reach out to you guys for some help, and maybe get a chance to join us on our show a little bit later on. But if you're ready, let's get to some picks.
Yep. We flipped a coin earlier on before we even started, and with that being said, Steven gets to go first.
I do. So we're going to open things up with our one pre-show card. Now, before we get started, we do fill out all of the cards that are official, or all of the matches that are officially on the card at the time of this recording. So if any matches get added on, Saturday afternoon or something, we'll put a post out as to who we pick, but ultimately we won't go over it here because we don't know what's happening yet.
Mm-hmm.
So our opening match is on the pre-card. It was announced yesterday on NXT, and it will be a triple threat number one contenders match to determine who will be the next ones to take on Imperium for the NXT Tag Team titles. We have the team of Legado del Fantasma, we have Breezango, and we have the team of Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch. Now, all of these teams have recently had an issue with Imperium, and of course, Fantasma's team has had issues with both Breezango and Lorcan and Burch over the last several weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone seems to have a beef with each other, and now that the Undisputed Era has kind of moved out of the way of being, the top team to contend against Imperium, it's now going to be curious to see who's going to be the next one in line. Breezango has already had a shot at Imperium once already when they were Emporium. I enjoyed that very much. And then you've got two teams that have proven that they're hard-nosed and can go up with just about anybody. I'm curious to see because I could see any of these three teams advancing.
So for me, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I only know one team that I would pick, and I know one team directly. But the Breezango, they're very entertaining. To me, they're the New Day of NXT. So you watch to see what they do in wrestling and entertainment and what they wear, because they were once the fashion police. But now, Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch seem like they're, pound for pound, ground and pound. They don't seem like they're high flyers, but they seem like they're brawlers. So I could see them, tossing it up with the other two teams. Now, how do you pronounce it?
Legado del Fantasma.
That's probably why I will not pick them, because I can't even say their name.
If you can't pronounce them, you can't pick them.
That's right. They, to me, and I even spoke to Steven about it earlier this week when we were looking at NXT, I said, they to me remind me of what Jinder had when he had his Bollywood boys. That's just what I feel like this team is, in my opinion. If y'all disagree, that's fine. Tell me what you think. But other than that, I'm really not a fan, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, as we said already, I won the coin toss, so I do get the option of picking first. I really do like the idea of any of these three teams, although I would say that I think Imperium would be the favorites over any of these three teams. That's no disrespect to them. I just think that Imperium right now is working on another level. They've got consecutive wins over the Undisputed Era, who, of course, have held the title 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So Imperium seems like they've got things figured out exactly where they want them. So it'll be an uphill climb for whichever team does end up pulling out the win. But with me...
And since you were speaking of Imperium, today is, Walter's birthday?
Walter's birthday, you're right.
We're going to wish you a happy birthday, Walter. Hope you enjoyed your day.
Remember, Walter, all caps.
Yeah, all caps.
Important to note that. I should have brought the belt out here.
Yeah.
But either way, with these teams being in place, I could see which team should be the favorite to go in. But I'm actually going to go out on a limb with someone that I've never picked before. And I'm going to actually take... Moment of suspense. Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch to win this match. They have had their issues over the last several weeks, challenging different people. Of course, both of them have gotten their rear ends handed to them by Karrion Kross over the last couple of weeks, but I think ultimately with that brawl style you talked about earlier, that's what makes them wanting this fight. That's what makes them want to have an opportunity to take on a team that's rough and tumble, and also people they're very familiar with in Imperium, both coming from the UK brand. So I think it's the perfect opportunity for them to be able to shine on that NXT stage. I think Burch and Lorcan find a way to pull it out.
All right. Well, my pick, like I said, I like the entertainment value. I love these guys. I've gotten to meet one. I hadn't met the other. I got to meet Tyler Breeze, but at that time, I think he was Prince Pretty.
He was.
So
he's still pretty.
Prettier than,
Not me.
Okay. But this is who I'm going with. I'm going with Breezango, only because everything that has happened to them over the past couple of weeks with Fantasma Escobar, or Santos Escobar. See, I can't even say his name right. I feel like with that, they've got a fuel. They might be funny and ha-ha, and they might joke, but I think he has lit a fire up underneath them, which is going to make them want to, still be seen as funny and entertaining, but they're not going to be taken as a joke. So that's my pick.
It's going with Breezango. So first match of the night, we're already on opposite ends, but that's okay. So that takes care of our first pick of TakeOver, and a nice little shout out to Walter there, as we talked about it, but also something that I can't believe we forgot to do, a shout out to Mania Club. We got to get our people in there. Oh, I guess I should turn around.
In case you don't know and you see us in public, These are our names. So if you shout our names, we'll turn around and we'll talk to you.
But, the Mania Club, in case you're not familiar with how they work, they support both Connor's Cure and are also supporting Give Kids the World this year. Of course, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is next month, so we're going to be sporting our Connor's Cure bracelets and our thing. Actually, Kia already is. She beat me to it.
Yep.
But that's going to be popping out next month. They've got the little magnets that you can wear on your shirt, so you'll see us sporting those throughout the month. We encourage you to do the same. Of course, any type of cancer, but especially childhood cancer, is something that, we want to see gone before our lifetimes are over. They do a lot of great work. And in case you haven't noticed from a number of our posts, they also do Zoom meetings and meetups with certain professional wrestlers within WWE. If you're a member of the Mania Club, of course, there's no cost to join in, but you can get a lot of fun and a lot of benefits from being a part of it. So we encourage you to go look at their site. Look at the good causes that they're being a part of. We definitely love being part of them. Can't wait to see you guys again in person, which hopefully is soon, maybe tomorrow in the Thunderdome. But let's keep moving. First of all, we now get into our main card. When was the last time we opened a main card in which Adam Cole was in the opening match? That is an insane thing to think about right there, considering that he was over 400 days as NXT champion, and now he is likely possible that he's going to end up opening the show against a very odd opponent, but one you certainly couldn't have seen coming even a couple of months ago in Pat McAfee, former NFL punter. The two of them, of course, all this feud starting with Cole appearing on Pat McAfee's podcast, ultimately ending up having the two of them jawing at each other. It seemed like they made up, but then McAfee kept running his mouth, and ultimately they just got tired of chatting at each other. McAfee punts Cole into oblivion for about a week. And it's finally led to this rivalry where you're going to have someone who has no in-ring experience taking on the longest reigning NXT champion. On paper, it looks like a complete mismatch, but I don't think McAfee's going to come in, completely quiet. I think he absolutely has the capability he's going to have a plan going in.
Okay, so let me go ahead and say he's going to come in talking.
Well, he does that no matter what.
As I've stated, he is a podcast person. Was a punter. But my thing with that is he is literally bumping his gums, and for anybody that doesn't know that slang in my world, he's bumping his gums, he's talking a lot of stuff. The only thing he has is punting experience. He brought his boys this Wednesday as if he was going to need protection. Now, on the other hand, I'm an Adam Cole fan. I will always be an Adam Cole fan. Not more than Savannah, but that's not the point. With everything that's going on, like you stated, Adam Cole has a long line of accolades he can deal with in NXT. He's gone cross-branded when he's gone to SmackDown and Raw. He's done his thing. He held the title. He has experience enough that I hope that he will run this dude right through the ringer.
Certainly possible. So with with everything being considered, as I said, on paper it appears to be a mismatch. Adam Cole will easily go in the heavy favorite, but I can't imagine McAfee accepts this match if he didn't have an idea and a plan in mind. But on paper, Cole should run through him, and yet we know in WWE very rarely does that actually happen. So you're up first.
My thing is I am highly teed because you have one of the top NXT stars come on your show, and he's sitting here trying to answer your questions, and you're sitting here and you're making a joke, or you're making a comment, you said something off-putting. I can understand why he wanted to knock your head off on your own show, talking about Adam Cole wanting to knock his head off on his own show. And then, he makes up and everything we think is okay, and then what's-his-face, McAfee, decides he's going to come on the show, talk crap while he's watching his boys try to win the tag titles. And I don't get it. Why can't you just keep your mouth closed? Why do you have to open your mouth?
Well, it's not McAfee's MO, but technically it's not Cole's either.
But the thing is, he don't got nothing to prove. He's proven everything he needed to prove when he held that title. This dude right here, Adam Cole, take his ass to the cleaners for me, please.
And yes, we do advocate very slight cussing on this show, but that's okay. While I'm making my pick, if you'll sign in, I want to get we want to get some fan interaction in here. Anybody who's taking the time to join us, we want to make sure we're chatting it up. But for the most part, I do agree with Kia in this instance. McAfee, as I said, is not going to show up without having a game plan in mind. He stated himself on NXT yesterday, he's made over $1 million in 7 different professions. And that is, something to where, he absolutely has the mindset that when he puts his, mind into something, he can be able to be successful in. And we're not sitting here saying that he can't be successful in WWE, But what a mountain to choose to climb to open things up. Not that it's unheard of. We remember Kevin Owens' main roster debut. He beat John Cena. So it can be done. And I'd also, of course, wouldn't be remiss if, let's hit an old school one. How about Federline still undefeated in WWE? He's wrestled one match. It was a complete mismatch against John Cena, but he found a way to win. And in WWE and in NXT especially, you can't predict anything. With that being noted, though, I can't pick against Adam Cole in this match. He absolutely has put in too much time. He's the longest reigning NXT champion for a reason. And a majority of those matches, call it what you want, he won most of those matches legitimately. Very rarely did you see him needing to have someone else come out and help him. A lot of his title defenses, especially late in his title run, he went out there by himself because he wanted to prove he could do it on his own. So I don't think that Adam Cole is going to allow himself to get embarrassed here. I think he's going to come in knowing there's going to be some shenanigans, knowing there's going to be some issues. But at the end of the day, you got to take Adam Cole in this match. I just can't imagine that McAfee is going to be able to match up in the ring, and ultimately Cole is going to be too ready for this opportunity. And not only that, but to basically shut up a clown.
That's exactly what he is.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, it's looking like the fan interaction thing may not happen because I'm guessing we can't log into the other account.
I'm having a hard time finding the volume control, and I can't turn it up or down. So.
Well, we could always just disconnect. But anyway, so for those of you who are joining in, why don't I just move behind the camera here and we can just take a peek.
Okay.
Because I do want to know if there's anybody that's been chatting with us, and we do have a lot of folks that appear to be joining in here. A couple of folks we're going to wave at here, so we appreciate you guys jumping in here. Because we definitely want to make sure that you guys are we're appreciative of the fact that you guys are here. But at the end of the day, we want to, make sure that everybody is getting, the appreciation that's, in place.
Yeah.
So, taking the time to say hey to everybody who's out there.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. So taking the time, so now we can be able to see everybody who, is potentially jumped in here. And we're going to go ahead and keep on going here into our next match, which is, we have props for the vacant NXT North American Championship. This will be in a fatal 5-way ladder match. This, of course, was the championship that Keith Lee held along with the NXT Championship that he won in the title versus title match with Adam Cole. Lee chose to give it up to be able to give someone else an opportunity. And what opportunities these 5 have been given, as we now we've had several qualifying matches and a couple of people having 2 qualifying matches to be able to get themselves in. But we're finally down to our 5. It is a ladder match, so first person to grab the belt takes the title. It will be the Archer of Infamy, Damien Priest. Your boy, Cameron Grimes.
No, he's not my boy. No, he's not.
She hates Cameron Grimes for anyone who's watched. The Knight of NXT, Johnny Gargano. Thick Boy, Bronson Reed. And, of course, the ever-flamboyant Velveteen Dream, who made his return and was able to pull an upset over Balor yesterday to be able to get himself in.
I call him really eccentric.
Eccentric, ecstatic, whatever you want to call him. Basically, any adjective you want, he's probably it. The reality is, you've got a couple of names that are in this match that, deserve to be in this conversation.
Definitely.
You could see, but you also see a couple of people in here that I don't think you could have predicted 5 weeks ago should be here. I can certainly see some other names, but the fact is that's what NXT is all about. It's not just being handed an opportunity, it's about earning your opportunity, and that's one thing Regal has made very clear is that you will earn your opportunities here in NXT, and a couple of names in here absolutely earned their way in.
Almost definitely. I believe all of them have earned their way in, minus one. That's not going to be hard to figure out. But I feel like all of them are deserving. And I like the fact that Keith Lee was, humble enough to give up this title to have someone else hold it. He didn't see himself as, it was great that he was a double champ for as long as he was. But he said, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let everybody else who I feel is deserving try to come for it. And I wish them the best of luck. So for me, I feel like all the guys deserve a chance.
Absolutely. And you look at, some of the contenders that are in here with the idea of it being a ladder match. That is going to favor a handful of people. You see folks like Johnny Gargano, who is absolutely a high-flying type of competitor, and also someone like a Velveteen Dream, who, has no issue being a top rope, type of person. This will be a match that will favor them against maybe someone like a Bronson Reed, who, due to his larger size, may have a harder time being able to compete in something on a ladder. But, Otis won a Money in the Bank earlier this year, so,
Don't put it past the big boy.
Ignore the circumstances of how it happened, but the reality is he found a way to win. And in a ladder match, it really is right place, right time, right circumstance. So, you know, it's going to be questionable to see who could be champion. Two of them have been NXT North American champion before, that being Gargano and Dream.
Yep.
So, you know, we have a couple plates ready for those who enjoy plate exchange. Anything to add before we hit the picks?
I feel like all of them are deserving, except for Cameron Grimes.
Grimes!
I'm wishing all of them the best. I believe if you've gotten as far, I believe that you should go all the way. And to whoever wins, my pick or not, my fingers are crossed, and I wish you the best. Mine is Cameron Grimes.
As you can see, she's not going to be happy if Cameron Grimes wins.
No, I'm not.
The belt will be quite sticky.
Ew. Like him. Ew.
So we move on to our official pick for this match. First of all, I'm going to be happy that, you know, the title's back in play. You know,
exactly.
I'm happy that they did the qualifying matches, but it'll be good to see the belt back on somebody. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to be able to either bring a name back into the spotlight that maybe fell out for a little while, such as a Gargano or a Velveteen Dream, or to use this to build up the next person that's going to be your big name, that either being Reed, Grimes, or Damien Priest. I think that again, it falls into right place, right opportunity. But I think that if you need to have an idea and a mindset of who is the guy you're ready to push as the next big name in NXT, I will end up going with who I'm taking, and that is going to be the Archer of Infamy, Damien Priest, to take the North American Championship.
So, I want to ask you a question, because I know what my thoughts are, but I want to get your take on it, because I don't even think we talked about it. What did you think of the shenanigans that Grimy pulled for this past Wednesday for that match?
I think ultimately, you know, he is exactly the way he's always been ever since he got that one upset win over Finn Balor going back a couple of months ago. He has, you know, said, I've got high confidence in myself, and he knows he's arrogant, and he knows he's going to piss some people off. But that's also who he is, and the fact is, whether you like him or not, more often than not, he's had the game in the ring to back it up. The times he hasn't is when he's gone up and walked out at a very stupid time, a la Keith Lee. You know, that was just wrong place, wrong time, and he paid the price for it, but hopefully he learned from it.
Yeah. I can tell you the only thing I like about this guy is his hat. That's it.
The hat's nice. I do like the hat.
Yeah.
So you got?
I love Johnny Gargano, and I feel like...
I like his wife.
You can 86 that out of the camera. I like...
and to the couch.
I like Johnny Gargano. I also have seen Johnny literally go through hell and back to actually make himself, you know, one of the top people, I guess in my opinion, right next to Adam Cole, to say, I feel like I'm the heart of this business, I love this business, I'm not leaving the black and gold brand unless it's time for me to be called up. He's fought to stay here. He's fought to get into this position. Bronson Reed, again, let's not get fooled by his size. Otis did it. So I'm thinking if Otis can do it, and you have to think about Keith Lee is a big boy and he won, and to all the big fellas that are out there, you know, people should not look at them because of their size, because they can do incredible things.
I'm a big boy.
Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a high flyer. So, with that, moving on to the Archer of Infamy, to me, I like him. I really, really can get behind him. I like the fact that he has come out, he has talked trash, but he has actually had the game to back it up. He's not letting nobody sit here and, you know, push him to the side. They're not going to let him walk all over him. I feel like he is a very highly favorable one. Grimes, I'm not going to even speak on. Velveteen Dream was a surprise when he came back. I did not expect it. They said they had someone coming back. We did not expect Dream. We were expecting a totally different person. I'd like to see him hold the title again, but on the flip side, I feel like I want to see Johnny hold it again, but we need to give other people who are deserving the chance to actually hold that title. So I am picking, long-winded way, I am picking the same person.
Priest?
Yes. Who I think he's like the version of Roman Reigns except for NXT.
Just saying, NXT had a Roman Reigns at one point.
Yeah, but I think you got what I'm saying.
So we both have Damien Priest taking the vacant North American title.
Yep.
So that moves us into our co-main event of the evening, or penultimate match, whatever term you want to use, and that is for the NXT Women's Championship, currently held by Io Shirai. She gets a new contender for the first time, and it comes in the hands of Captain Dakota Kai. Dakota will be getting her first opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship against a very strong, very hungry champion in Io Shirai. Shirai, of course, has been having to live in the shadow of, having to say, okay, I beat Charlotte Flair and I beat Rhea, but under the circumstances, I couldn't win that one-on-one. And she's already been able to successfully defend it once against Dakota's former friend, Tegan Nox.
Yep.
But Dakota has proven time and time again that she seems to be a step in front of Io at all times, and the ultimate step showing up yesterday when the return of Raquel Gonzalez.
Goodness, I did not see that coming. It was just kind of out of the blue. I said because I had been seeing pictures of her on Instagram. It looked like where she was at the beach or she was doing other things, but for her to come out, it just clearly blew my mind. I love her. I think she's awesome.
Well, Dakota has made sure that every opportunity and every advantage is in her favor short of champion's advantage. Because, of course, you'd still have to pin or submit the champion. And Io has proven to be as tough as they come in the women's division. Right now, she's taken on all comers, all challengers. And with certainly a ton of them still waiting in the wings, you've got people like Shotzi Blackheart, Rhea Ripley, Mercedes Martinez, Aaliyah, just to name a few, who could still be sitting there waiting for their opportunity. So Dakota understands going into this, she may only get one shot at this, and if she doesn't get it done, she's probably going to have a very hard time being able to earn another one. So she's gone into this holding back every advantage, using the mind games of saying, I'm going to do it all on my own, I'm going to win this on my own, and then at the last second bringing Raquel back in to continue to lay out Io. Obviously, Raquel will not be able to directly help her win the championship on Saturday, but she certainly has that ace in her corner. So Io's going in with a tough hill to climb to be able to retain.
Well, you said a tough hill, but you also understand, I love Dakota. I love this heel turn. I cannot speak on it enough. The hair, the makeup, the clothes. We were
concerned in one of our very early episodes. We talked about Dakota and how the heel turn just didn't seem like it was going right. But they really have turned it around. You've absolutely got that right.
I cannot. She was cute as a face when she was a kiwi fruit, I guess, in your opinion, or, kiwi. But this heel turn, just everything about it, it's just on point, and I'm glad to see she's doing something. I love her energy. I love her spunk. I love the fact that I would like to have her ring gear because it's all sparkly. But on the flip side of it, I also understand I love Io Shirai too. She's mysterious and she's got this mystique about her, and just I love her hair. She to me has been a fighting champion. There is nothing you haven't seen. She's gone up against whoever wants to come at her. She's made excellent video packages. I was upset this past Wednesday out of the blue when she, kind of got dominated by Raquel. But again, that's just Dakota having the ace in the hole, saying if it doesn't go right, I've got my 6 watching my back, and it is. But let's not forget that. Also thinking, Kairi's gone, so is there a likely chance we might see Asuka at some point trying to help her friend?
She's appeared on NXT before, so
exactly.
It's not out of the possibility. So now we got to get down to the nitty gritty. Who you got? Because you're up first on this one.
Oh, I wish I wasn't. I like both of them. I love both of them, so this is a very hard pick. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Dakota winning.
And Dakota winning the title.
Yes, and it's nothing against Io because I love her, but I could see it going either or. I could see her retaining, but I could see Dakota coming in and taking it off of her because she said, I'm not in this business for friends or enemies or anything else. I'm here to win that title, so I could see that happening.
Okay. So, for anyone who knows me and knows my love of women's wrestling, very similar to yours, but at the same time, you go all the way back to Mae Young Classic, going all the way back a couple of years ago. Remember at the very first tournament, who was my pick to win the whole thing? It was Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Dakota didn't make it all the way to the end. She ended up losing in the quarterfinal, if memory serves me, to the eventual winner, Kairi Sane. Ironic you bring her up.
That's who I picked.
I'd like to note, you look at some of the names, just spouting out here a little bit of, because I always like to throw a random fact in there. Kairi Sane along the way ended up beating Tessa Blanchard, who was a world champion a little while ago, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, and Dakota Kai, all in the same tournament, one behind the other. And then I'm pretty sure either Rhea or Mercedes Martinez was in there as well.
They were.
So, it's not like, Kairi took an easy road to get there. But, I think you hit the nail on the head going back into the match, that Dakota's heel turn has been the perfect run, and they've really been doing a great job of building it up since War Games last year. So you look at the old culmination of this, And, it's one of those, of course, everlasting questions in WWE. Do you have to win a title in order for it to be considered a success? I think she's done enough that even if she doesn't, I think her heel turn has ultimately been successful for what Dakota's trying to do. Io, of course, took the other route. She was a heel going into her match at In Your House where she won, and then flipped back to face once she ended up winning the championship. So the two kind of took each their own separate path. But now here they are colliding for the title. All things considered, Io's going to come ready. Dakota's going to come ready with that ace in the hole and Raquel Gonzalez on the sidelines as well. But ultimately, in the end, Raquel is going to have to really just stand there and watch for the most part. I do feel like Io has been a very worthy champion. I don't agree that I think Asuka will come only not because she can't, but because I think she's got 2 title matches the next night, so she's got more than enough to get ready for herself.
We don't understand her, so it could be a chance that she could pop up and we just won't know. We won't know until it happens, but
exactly. But, when you look at everything, I think it is time for a fresh face to hold the title. So Io will come ready, Io will come set, but she's not going to be able to get there. I do think Captain Coda is going to have that one last move that no one's expecting. So I'm agreeing with you. I think we see a new champion as Captain Coda gets her first title, and it will be Dakota Kai winning the women's championship.
So here's how I believe she could possibly win. We all know that she battled back from a knee injury. You, of all people, would know about a knee injury. You've had one.
A couple of them.
I want to see her battle back, and I want to see her get the title, but the way she does it, she takes her knee brace off and goes wham in the face. I'm sorry. I love you, Io, but I think that's what could happen as her being a heel.
Now, this is one that I will say out of all the 5 matches, I will say that's the one I had the hardest time making my prediction on, because this was all the rest of them. I kind of already had a gut feeling which way I wanted to go. This is one that probably up until 10 minutes before we went live, I really still did not know who I wanted. But let's move to our main event.
Okie dokie. Oh, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
If y'all have seen over the weeks, woo!
Give me a time and a place, and I will whoop that ass.
What did I say? That brother is religious.
He went preacher Keith Lee right there.
He is a religious man, in my opinion, the limitless one. But when you start cursing, you've pushed his button. You've pretty much let the bear out of the cage at that point.
So, of course, we're referring to what we expect to be the main event of NXT Takeover 30, and that is Keith Lee defending his newly won NXT Championship against the seemingly unstoppable Karrion Kross, of course, being drafted behind by Scarlett. Keith Lee, of course, won the championship in a title versus title match a few weeks ago back at Great American Bash from Adam Cole. He's since defended it one time, along with the North American title, against his friend Dijakovic, and then surrendered the North American title and hasn't defended it since. So you look at Keith Lee, who seemingly has crushed every person who has stepped in front of him. That's not to say that people haven't given him some good matches. Cameron Grimes a couple of weeks ago absolutely took him to his limit. But just at the end of the day, Keith Lee seems like he's operating on a whole nother level. But you've also got a Karrion Kross who seems like he may be on a level even higher than that, because seemingly there has been no one that's been able to stand in Karrion Kross's way, both in the ring and out of it. And then you add the almost sorceress powers of Scarlett behind there. I'm not sure there's a person there that can really stop him. Maybe not even Keith Lee.
Here's the thing with Karrion Kross. He came in to NXT, and we didn't hear a word from him until he was ready. I'm going to talk when I'm good and ready. Nobody's going to make me. Nobody's going to push me. So he sent his beautiful, beautiful valet and
who wakes up a 9.
And she's a 10 by the time she gets done with her routine.
That's right.
And he has her come out to the ring and does all the talking. Every episode I think we've seen up till this point, actually every episode, she's done it all. Like the clock thing, the talking, the whole kissing, the notebook, which I think that's the reason the thing set on fire, but that's just what I think. Now, Keith Lee, my brother from another mother, I love him. Not as much as Stephanie, but I love him and the fact that I love what he stands for. I like the fight that he puts up. I love the fact that he is willing to fight. It doesn't matter if it's his friend, it doesn't matter if it's his enemy, it doesn't matter who you are. And if he's interrupted by Grimy, he's going to take it to a whole nother level. Go ahead.
Keith Lee, has been one, and we've talked about it several times on this show. They have been building him very similar to Dakota's heel run.
Mm-hmm.
They've been building him since Survivor Series last year. They've put him up against the biggest guns that not just NXT, but WWE has to offer. He's been in the ring with Roman Reigns. He's been in the ring with people like Drew McIntyre. He's been in the ring at the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar. And he has taken on all comers, and while maybe not getting the win against the biggest names in the business, he's gone toe-to-toe and has proved he is absolutely going to be a future multiple-time world champion here.
But the fact that you can get respect from all those people, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre, that says a lot about what they think of you to give you that respect at all.
Roman Reigns came out publicly the other day and said Keith Lee is the future of WWE.
Yeah.
When it's time for me to stop being the face, Keith Lee is going to be the guy that's going to be on the posters.
And
He's going to be the
it.
one selling out the signings
Mm-hmm.
and the meet and greets. It's going to be him. It's just a matter of, when Roman's ready to step out of the spotlight.
Mm.
So you look at this match, and I mean, this is going to be, you hear the term heavyweight bout, you hear this, giants collide, but this one truly is. This is one where you've got two monsters who seem like nobody can stop them, because you look at the entire echelon of WWE, I mean, you look at these are supposed to be your next best contenders, and I would argue that not a single one of the 5 people in the North American title match would stand a chance against either of these two in a one-on-one contest. You've got literally the two biggest mammoths NXT has to offer, both figuratively and literally, going head-to-head with the biggest prize in the business on the line. So, I've got to look at everything, and this one was another one that was a very difficult one for me to pick, because as great as Keith Lee has been,
Mm-hmm.
Karrion Kross has absolutely said, nothing is going to stop me from getting what I want. And if I don't get it, my lovely lady by my side will stack the deck in my favor to get me what I want. And also, he was very much, taking that monstrous heel run of saying, I'm not waiting on Regal to give me my shot. I will push you to want the match with me. And that's exactly what he did. He goaded Lee into it, and finally Lee gave it to him.
But Lee has always been about competition and fighting and defending the title, win and anywhere, or even just saying, hey, I'm not scared of you. You shouldn't be scared of me. You talk crap? Come on, talk crap in the ring. Let's do it. We're two people who can get the job done. Now, for me, you know how I'm into fashion, into clothes. You understand. I want to see what my girl pulls out this Saturday.
You remember what she wore, or pretty much didn't wear at In Your House, and when now it's on pay-per-view instead of on national television, we'll see what she pulls out or doesn't pull out. But
I'm excited.
Either way, time to get down to the hard part, and that is making the official pick. Again, we've got two monsters that I'm not sure that this could very well be the first of like a trilogy. This could be what Ciampa and Gargano was,
most
last
definitely.
year, and you saw people like Cole and Gargano had a similar run. This may be the start. I don't think this will be the only time we see these two face off against each other with the NXT title on the line. They're destined to clash with each other a few more times, but I seemingly see like, it's not unheard of for someone who is so new to NXT to have the title put on them. It's happened before. They put it on Kevin Owens a month after he showed up.
Goodness, yes.
He went from debuting to winning the championship within a month, skipping all the rest of it completely.
Hey.
So it's not unheard of, but it's also still not common for them to put someone so soon on the title. And the only way I could see Lee dropping the title so soon after winning it is if the intention is for him to potentially move up or to move into another story, because they think he's ready to go into the big time on the main roster, either on Raw or SmackDown. Keith Lee has proven to be the ultimate face when it comes to your fan popularity. He can talk the talk, he can walk the walk, he's fun to be around, but also he knows when it's time to put on the game face and when it's time to put out your best.
And I love the pink shoes. Real men wear pink. You've worn it, Landon's worn it, Cassius will wear it, but Keith Lee in them pink shoes.
So here's my official prediction.
Okay.
I do believe that with Scarlett in the corner of Karrion Kross, the deck is going to be stacked in Karrion's favor, and it will show for the early portions of the match. Keith Lee is going to have his spots, he's going to have his moments to try to neutralize him, but ultimately it's going to end up being a person like Scarlett that is going to bring the match a certain way. Until Keith is able to even the score with a little help on his side. Mia Yim's still sitting in the back somewhere. With all due respect to the blue-haired meanie, nothing to do that night.
I know.
So I also can't imagine that she's going to be too thrilled with Scarlett for what she did to Keith a couple of weeks ago. I think Mia comes out to even the odds, and with there being an even playing field, by literally the skin of his teeth, Keith Lee is going to find a way to get past Karrion Kross, and he will retain the NXT Championship over Karrion. I don't think Karrion's going to be done with him, but I think he walks out of TakeOver 30 still champion.
I'm glad you mentioned my girl Mia. I love her. And when I said I want to see what Scarlett comes out in, I know that I want to see the same thing in Mia. I have seen her in Tim's before, but this is a match that's a ground and pound. I think if she's going to come out and neutralize the situation, she needs to have on her Tim's. I'm just saying. But I feel like Karrion Kross, he's a tough competitor. He has been a tough competitor. He has literally run through the locker room. He's run through everybody. He is pretty much no talk, all business. Now, Keith Lee, to me, I already told you I felt like he's a religious man. He's kind of let that go a little bit. You're letting the bear out of the cage with him. You've pushed him. You've hurt his best friend. You've pretty much had fire smoked up into his eyes. You've told him his time is up. You've pretty much gotten to where it's everything that you say pretty much fuels him that much more to want to whoop that. And so with that being said, my pick is my boy, Keith Lee.
You taking Keith as well?
I sure am. He's going to retain, and I swear to God, if Grimes comes out and messes with him, we will be fighting. I will find you and I will hunt you down and get you.
Uh-oh. Remember what happened the last time someone threatened a superstar on Instagram? Let's not do that.
No, I don't remember that.
Just bring your hat. I want to see the hat. But either way, so unfortunately, I wish we could have given you a little more controversy with a couple of picks, but for 4 out of the 5, including all 4 main roster matches, we picked the same across the board. A chance for double losses or double wins here. The only one we picked different was the tag team title match. We both technically could lose that one if Fantasma ends up winning. So not much of a chance for me to pick up or gain any ground, or for you to pick it up. It is possible you could tie it up if you win there. But, we'll see how it turns out. But what do you think? What are your predictions? Of course, we're going to put out some polls to let everybody make their picks. Remember the contest we've got coming up. Design our Top Rope Spoilers logo, and you get a chance to, potentially appear on a show with us. But what do you think about these matches? Is Lee going to retain? Can EO retain? Or do we have new champions along the way? Who's going to be the next one to take on Imperium? Who's climbing the ladder to win the North American title? And can McAfee back up all the talk, or will Cole finally shut up the podcaster? So, we appreciate everyone who stopped in and joined us today. Shout out to Mania Club for, continuing to have our backs through all this time. We know we're going through rough times, but hey, with the Thunderdome starting to show up, the fan interaction's getting ready to jump back in.
I think that is so creative that, I don't know who thought of that idea, but to me, I feel like that's just one of the most creative things. You want fan interaction, that's how you do it. I'm
going to try to see if I can find a way to be able to get us, because we are in, we're going to be there. So we're going to see if we can try to find some way to be able to let everybody know the interaction that we went through. We're going to try to see if we can find some way. But with that being put out there, these are our official predictions. Look out for us on Friday in the Thunderdome, Saturday for TakeOver. We do have another Top Rope Spoilers on Saturday, 7 o'clock, where we will officially give our predictions to SummerSlam. So, Kia, if you would, take us home.
All right, you all know I've got this whole spiel. Wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart, sanitize. If you're at home, wash your hands. And that's all I'm going to say. I want to get back into the arenas, and this fan interaction is great, but let's get to it. If you don't have a mask or you want a mask, go to Kimber Last Kick, who will clearly make you one. She's good at what she does. She's on Etsy. Look for her. We will drop the information in the comments below. With that being said, love you all. Bye.